He can't see men as they are. You follow me? He has an unrealistic view of men, right?
Right.
So it said Jesus took up some dirt and spit in it, spittle, rubbed it like black mud and put it over the man's eyes. You follow me?
Yeah, I'm listening.
And then it said that once that did its job, he could take off the mud pack, and it said, now do you see men as they are? Because at first he saw men as trees. He saw men as giants, as so formidable as nothing that could be done. But when Jesus put the spittle, which is truth, and black mud on his eye, it gave him proper sight. Right. Kanye is suffering from that mental condition.
Right.
He does not have proper sight. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And right now, under his mental disability, he's unable to obviously convey what he means. And so it comes out in a way that can become the misstatement of it. That's why he's spending time trying to re-explain it, because he didn't mean it that way. But that's the way it came out. And so then people are attacking him without recognizing that, again, you do have a responsibility when you're before the public to be mindful of what you say and how you say it and what effect it has.
Right.
So I just wanted to share that part with you, so,
okay.
You know.
All right, yes, sir. Let me, okay. Yeah, you dropped something on me. Okay. All right. Yes, sir. He go back. Let me turn the camera on and get on that one right quick. Yeah, respect.
Turn it on?
I did. I'm gonna let top come back, but I did turn it on.
Yeah, I hear this.
So, let me wait for Ty to come so he can pan y'all expressions, because I know. Yeah. Because
You ain't have no remorse for him? For Kanye?
Did I have any remorse? Absolutely. We just gonna wait.
Yeah, just let me keep. Oh, yeah, baby.
That's yours. You gotta make this.
Where's that? Blue keys on the head.
This one? Yep.
Give him the skirt.
That's her. That's her. I'm sorry, yes.
Just pan the expressions for me, because I know they're going to be mad at me. I'm going to record it. They're going to be mad at me. You listening, Ma? You know.
Just, hey, look.
It's recorded.
We ain't going to be mad.
Record.
You know, this is what real men do. You know, we mess up sometimes.
Everybody that's in here was here. So it's cool.
We mess up sometimes.
So, I still kind of say still poor Kanye, but I'll say this part. So I just got off the phone, he's like one of my spiritual advisors, whatnot, just an FYI, Farrakhan will be speaking soon, just an FYI, but anyway, so one of my spiritual advisors, where I spoke with, he broke it to me down like this with the slavery thing. He said, you ever look at a schizophrenic person? They're mental ill, so that they can have all the, because I said, the knowledge is out here. The knowledge is in the atmosphere. He said, if you look at a schizophrenic person, the knowledge is out there that what to do, this, that, and the third. But they can't decipher what is right, what is wrong, or what is, because they're mentally ill. So that's the same, he equated that with slavery. Because we, like you said, Mo, we've been, language, culture, religion, all that's been taken away from us, so we're in a state of real mental illness. So in that regard, okay, yeah, we ain't have a choice. Because we're schizophrenic in that regard. We ain't have a choice of being schizophrenic the same, mentally ill. But I still say poor Kanye because he's mentally ill. So I just want to retract my words a little bit.
You spoke to Kanye, and you know Kanye personally to know that
he told you, he said he's on more drugs than he was in the hospital.
That doesn't mean that
Does that mean he's mentally ill?
Just because he said it doesn't mean that that's necessary.
Oh, so he's lying, he's on pills, he's drugged out?
I'm telling you, people say what they got to say.
But how can you still say poor Kanye when now Kanye's mental health was a choice?
What, being snatched up and drugged in the hospital? So you tell me you get put in the hospital and you can't...
I need the video of him being snatched up.
Yeah,
I need that video.
All of the lives, that was a choice, right?
Oh, the pastor, yeah,
He chose the route that he took, right?
he chose to marry, yeah. So granted, he did. He chose to be, just like we chose to sell ourselves to the white man when they came and snatched us off the land.
So you can't feel too bad.
Wait a minute.
Can I make a comment?
You sounded like home.
There are several issues at play. And one of the issues at play in our community is how we deal with the trauma we suffered and how we deal with mental health in our community. Because we suffered under trauma, and most of us are walking around with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and we don't face that as a community. Half of us don't go through therapy. Half of us don't know how to embrace the coming into a clear stream of thought and going through our depression and the stress that we go through living in this kind of society and suffering under the oppression that we suffer. So here's this young brother who in his interview said he's under all kind of stress in all kind of directions, and he had a breakdown, or we could call it a breakthrough, or he calls it a breakthrough. But we saw him. He obviously had a mental issue. He was put in a hospital, and we have no compassion for the fact that that brother had a breakdown. And now we're trying to judge him as if he's as sane and lucid as the next person when he said he's under more drugs now than he was before he went in.
Right.
I'm 50% still not
So why take the angle of the black
I'm
people in 100 years of slavery? Why take
Why
that?
take that? Why say that?
Totally, as he came around to it, it was totally not the right approach. And he said that, but actually when I watched the interview, when you watched it, he wasn't absolutely lucid. He was talking from past to present to future.
But when he said that about that past tense, he was talking about, he said that was a choice. He wasn't talking about present tense when he spoke of a
Because if he
choice.
was talking about president at that moment, people probably could have understood.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because at this point, none of us want to be slaves at this point in our lives.
But the question is, are we?
In a sense, we are still.
Certain things.
And that is what the spiritual advisor was saying, because we are the mental enslavement is not a choice, it's a condition brought on from 400 years of oppression and Jim Crow and the stress of oppression that we even face today. So it's not about a choice, which was not the best.
No, it was the absolute wrong thing to say. Let's not sugarcoat.
But he wasn't as normal as you are. But he's not as normal as you are sitting in that chair
I mean,
today.
I'm 50. I'm 75% there. But at the end of the day, I just feel like
if you got out of a mental hospital and you're on drugs, and this is not in defense of him, but let's look at the whole picture.
I understand.
You know what I'm saying? As we cascade this brother, because we have mental illness in our community.
We do. That's right.
And how do we deal with it? And to what term do we? It's like Chad said in an interview some time ago in the shop here. He said, before all this happened, he said, we're looking at Kanye West and we just kind of ignore him and act like nothing really happened to that brother. And while he was in the hospital, nobody knew in the community how to deal with Kanye West. So everybody's kind of like, whoa, what happened to Kanye West? Did they take him? Did they clone him? Something obviously happened to that young man.
He said he feared it for his life. That's real.
Yeah, I think, real talk, everybody's overlooking the obvious here. And the obvious is, the dude's mother died. His mother died. I mean, and if you, at any point, I don't know if any of y'all ever dealt with loss, but that is a stop and everything comes to a grind moment, and everything's done right there. And when we start really talking about what happened to Kanye, it's not just what happened to Kanye, it's how we deal with grief in general. And each person is an individual, so they deal with grief differently. Now put that in the perspective of behind a lens of a camera of high visibility, high popularity. You don't get the time to heal. You don't get the time to really grow. You don't get the time to deal with your grief and close that loop that's just been opened up. So I look at Kanye like, this dude, I think personally, I've always been a Kanye fan. You know what I'm saying? And I've always kind of said, you know, Kanye, before his mother died, Kanye is eccentric, and you get that leeway as an artist.
Correct.
Because, you know, you have to have some liberties that you take just to be on that level. Now, with his mom dying and everything else going on, from what I see when I look at Kanye now, and let me preface that all by saying, I in no way agree with his comment about slavery.
Right.
I'm not saying it's right, I see what he's trying to say, but the way he went about it was wrong. The same. So with that said, the dude is hurt and he's been hurt, and just because he puts on a face, just because you see him on TV, because you see him with Kim K and doing all that craziness, man is saying to you, yo, my mother died, and there's no way for me to deal with that.
Yours.
No,
Oh, okay.
Kanye said that. You know what I'm saying? Even in the song, he's like, I lost the only girl that knew me best.
Yeah, he did.
And we're expecting, because he's a celebrity, that he brushed it off and go on. So if you look at it from that perspective, not only are we not knowing how to deal with stigmas of, you know, not dealing with mentality and mental illness,
Exactly.
but you pile on top of that grief, death, loss, you know, of the only person that, imagine if you lost the only person you could trust in the world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The only person you can trust that knew you from before anybody cared about you. So that person's gone, and how they left, they got killed trying to improve themselves for a TV show potentially. You know what I'm saying? That's some things that will mess anybody up. So I take all that in a grain of salt and say Kanye definitely has issues, but his issues aren't something that should be stigmatized. It's issues that should be highlighted and say, hey, well, you know what? Even the best of us has to deal with these issues of grief, loss, mental illness, and he should be supported. Now, what I see, what Van said, what I see is not even real anymore. I think it's not real because it's a byproduct of not dealing with the situation in the first place. So the Kanye I'm looking at now, it's like, wow, this person is just kind of a shadow of who the original artist who came out was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? From late registration and all that.
Right. She got a
That
question
leads
for you.
me to another question now. Then what do we do as a community? And I'm not saying we shouldn't kind of spank them and condemn, but not necessarily condemn them, because Kanye